After the discovery of what my dad was doing, life went downhill pretty quickly in the Davis household. My parents divorced, they reconciled and went back together, remarried, but neither my brother or I were at that wedding, which was baffling in itself. Things may have let up for a brief spell, but it certainly did not last long. There was a lot of rage and anger in our home, and my mother miscarried a child that threw her into a deep, dark depression. My grandmother, whom I had been prohibited from seeing, died. And so all these things left a deep, dark hole in my life. Now today it's called acting out. Back then it was just called rebellion. And I went into it full speed ahead. It started in junior high with bad grades, and it ended up with me hanging out of a car in a stupor going down the road. I literally saw my life flash before my eyes, and I knew that something had to change. I knew that if I really wanted to continue living, something had to change, and living at that point was even debatable. When I woke up the next morning, I started thinking about getting my life back together. And that brought back memories of where true love was. And for me, that was as a little girl in the church. And how desperately I needed that love. I had been trying to find it everywhere else. And all I got were wounds and shame. I was 17 years old. I was scared. I was used. I had been abused. I was accused. And in a small town where everyone knows everyone else's business. And I had a lot of business. I remembered the teachers of my younger years, Betty, Jewel, Norma, and so many more that I can't remember, but who left an eternal imprint on my life, which, by the way, never underestimate the impact, the influence you can have on a child's life. So I went to the church building and I found the youth minister, and I told him that I wanted to go to church camp. And I kind of laughed because I was such a mess. And he must have been thinking, what in the world am I going to tell the rest of the parents, of the kids who are going to go to church camp? But he let me go, and it forever changed my life. And so coming up, church camp and those wonderful sponsors, and the next chapter of my life that fell apart.